Okay, so this is going to be a self-introduction speech. However, we have people on Discord here because I did not receive any specification on how we're supposed to do this to our audience. So we'll make do. Now, to start the speech off, I want to give you guys a little quote. What sets you apart can sometimes be a burden. It can sometimes seem like it's a burden, and it's not. A lot of the time, it's what sets you apart from others. That quote reminds me that no matter how different and weird I can be, that it's what makes me unique. Now, today I'm going to talk about some of the hobbies that I feel make me or make me me. And I think you guys should listen to them because it gives you a little bit of insight onto who I am as a person and how I act. And to be more specific about what I'm talking about my love of reading and my love of gaming, specifically in this case, Dungeons and Dragons. To start off, Dungeons and Dragons. Now, D&D is amazing, and it's one of the best things in my life at this point. And I love everything about it, from just the monsters that you fight to the classes you can make and the races you can play as. Which brings me to some of my characters. The first one I ever made was J Dog, a Jamaican werewolf orphan who tried his best to get by. And I made him like that because I want this to express that he didn't fit in, like sometimes I feel like I don't, and didn't know what to do, like myself. And then there was Jeremiah, who was a half hag alchemist with a tendency to sleep a bit too much, which was also me expressing my way of procrastinating too much and leaving things to the last moment. But with those characters came great campaigns or adventures. Like the first one with J Dog, we were trying to save the gods from someone that could kill them and slay them. That was a wild ride. And then there was a second one where we were in a race against time to go and save the world from ending. So, normal things. All that and all the adventures and all the antics we got into with them, it's made my days. It's what I live for at some points. And I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Now that I've talked about D&D, I go on to something I have even more of a session for. Reading. I've loved to read since I was a kid. Back then, I would pick up a book and basically read it nonstop. And there were specifically two books that I read that basically made my reading career. The first book was not really a book, but it was a book series. Both of them are actually. The first one was Aragon. The Aragon series, it pulled me in. Really, really pulled me in. A book about a young man and his dragon fighting to save their kingdom from the tyrant king. I love that book so much, and I read it so deeply that I ended up finishing the 900-page book in the last book in the series in about 3 days. and to even say even more, there was another book series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is pretty well known. It's by Rick Riordan. That book series was amazing to me, and it also got me into Greek mythology and mythology in general. And with these two book series, I ended up reading books even more than I used to, which made it so that I read a bit too much. So it ended up being that I read a bit too much, and I had a tendency to dislike being interrupted while I was reading, which made me a very weird book oriented kid. In conclusion, I in conclusion, these are hobbies that I use to express myself and that I use to or make me. I love reading, I love playing D&D. And they have given me a lot. Reading has given me stories that I can look back on, and D&D has given me adventures to go on with my friends and remember. Hopefully, this gives you a little bit, or gives you a little bit to know about me. And I thank you all for coming and listening in. Okay.